Hey guys, it's Mark, welcome to SpeedTutor, and I've got everything that's new in Unity 6.5. So in 6.5 you'll find both custom light shapes and custom shadow shapes. As you can see here, I have a custom light shape which you can see is a triangle. On the right hand side on the 2D light, I've got a couple of different examples. I've got a jagged shape which I could even customize to make lots of different examples of shapes, and I've even got something which is kind of like an arched window shape which you could almost see the light put across somewhere else. Now if I set it back to my triangle, because it was a good example, I have got a custom shadow shape which you can see I've created a barred window kind of shadow, and as you can see when I move this, you can see how the light affects on the shadowed area. And if I go into the game view, you can just see it here. And I have a couple of others, like say the triangle shape for the shadow, and you can see how this affects and performs in the area. Now if you want to find out how to create your own, you can go to the Unity documentation for creating your own custom 2D light. But to go through the script, you need to inherit your class from the 2D light provider. You need to provide a provider name that you want to see, like in this example, triangle light. You can set different parameters, and in this case scale, and then you need a mesh to get the mesh, and then we're going to specify what type of mesh we're going to create and then what vertices we want. So we wanted 3 to be a triangle. If you want to create a custom 2D shadow, you can look at the documentation for creating a custom shadow. If we look at the script, you need to inherit from the shadow shape 2D provider. You need to do the same things where you add the provider name that you want to specify, and you create a public bool override for the required component data. Then you need to do the method onBeforeRender with the component, and then set the different vertices or however you want this to look. And as I said, with the light source, for any 2D light, you can set the light type to what you've created. And with the custom shadow 2D, you need to use the shadow caster 2D component, and then you can set the different type. And if you do want to get hold of these scripts, I'll put them on my Patreon so you can get the different light and shadow examples. You can now analyze sprites in the Unity Profiler, and to get that you can go to Window, Analysis and Profiler. And in the modules stack, you can press on the drop down and you can select 2D. And then when you've got some data, you can check out the sprites that are listed here. So you've got the sprite name, you've got the number of sprites, what textures, and what the usage is. There is a brand new BlendShape API, which you can use FFD based sprite deformation to be able to create tools for 2D animated sprite deformations. And you can look at the sprite.addBlendShape in the API. And there's a brand new PhysicsCore2D and Render Sprite APIs, which you can work together to perform and simulate thousands of different sprites on screen at any one time. And there's a brand new dedicated project setting for PhysicsCore2D, which you can right click in your project panel, choose Create. Then if you go to 2D and you select PhysicsCore Settings 2D, and once you hit that, you can go to Open in the Project Settings, which is a nice button, and you can see that we have layers, we have default definitions so that we can specify for each one, and some global settings where we can fine-tune all this data. Whilst you're checking out this video, make sure you throw a like and be subscribed because it helps me out massively. There is a brand new Create Folder with Selection, so if I select all of these scripts, I right click, choose Create, and choose Create Folder with Selection, and I'm just going to put Scripts. And then you'll have been able to see our scripts nicely end up in this folder, just a nice way to organize more easily. If you're somebody like me who likes the new hierarchy, and if you haven't seen it before, you can go to Edit, Preferences, and if you're on the General tab, and if you navigate down to the Use New Hierarchy window, you can enable or disable it. As you can see, it's got much less option. As you can see now, we can see the difference, that it's slightly laid out better, and we've got more customization to show whether we're looking at visibility, the picking, active, static layers, and we can get a lot of stuff at a glance. But the great thing is you can now display both game objects and entities within the new hierarchy. The Unity animation window has had a bit of a redesign, and you can access this with Window, Animation and Animation. You can see that we've got the animation clip in the top corner, we've got the playback controls, and we've got the animation mode across dope sheet and curves in this corner, and a new ripple mode button. If you do navigate to the package manager with Window, Package Management and Package Manager, you will find an All Samples view where you can find every single sample that exists from everything within your Unity project. There's a brand new awesome lighting search window. So if you go to Window and you go to Rendering and you go to Lighting Search, this is a brand new dialog box that pops out, which allows you to search and add queries and find every single light across many different specific columns and parameters, whether you can see whether they're enabled, the different labels, the types, the shape, and you can filter these to get these more easily. So if you need to find the biggest range, you can right click these, you could show columns, you could change columns, you can add them, edit ranges, and you can even reset as needed. You can even select multiple versions of these same lights. Say I've selected a bunch of these, so you can see when I edit this live, all the colors change all at once. So it's a great way to edit bunches of lights at once. You can also filter in the query by clicking the plus in the search, and you can do something, say properties. I'll choose 2D light, and we can choose all the properties of lights that we might want to use. So if I filter by intensity, you can see that I can click the little drop down and I can say greater than a value, and I'll do a value of 2, and everything that's greater than that value, you can see them all there. We can then right click on any of those queries and just press delete, so we don't have to see them again. Similarly, with what we've just seen for the lighting search, you've got new searching features for the shader graph template. So if we right click in the project panel, choose create, choose shader graph, and choose from template. This is similar for the visual effects graph, and we've got new sort by ordering and filtering in this corner. And we've got stars, which we can favorite the ones that you use the most. And we've got the same query, so we can specify by, say, category, and we can choose whether it's decals, particle, something like that, and then it'll only show the 2 that we need, and we can right click those and choose delete, and it just makes the quality of life a little bit better. Just to let you know, there's a brand new expression node where you can use custom mathematical expressions within specific terms. There is also a brand new switch node, so you can have different cases and conditions and however you want. And there is new HLSL function reflection APIs that you can check out. And you can check out the create custom nodes in HLSL, and with the introduction to that in shader graph, creating custom nodes, and reflected function hints reference. I just wanted to show with the uGUI, it's got some new features like the Raycast Receiver Component, so you'll be able to create a clickable area that you can resize, which has nothing that's rendered in there, so it's a much easier to create custom options. And if you right click on any UI object, choose UI canvas, you can use the Raycast Receiver, and you can see it comes with a Raycast target that you can begin to use. You will also notice for UI Toolkit, there's a new panel renderer which replaces UI Document. UI Document does continue to work, but this is a better solution with better performance and improvements across the board. And if you do want to create it, you can right click in the hierarchy, choose UI Toolkit, and choose Panel Renderer. And you can see in the Legacy tab, there is UI Document. And there's a brand new project log editor log, which you can find in your project name, logs. And if you open up the editor file, and this is a log which is project specific rather than global, because before in Unity, this editor log would be shared across all projects and would become quite unmanageable. And you can actually look at using the global setting if you want to revert back to it, and you'll find that in the preferences window if you wish. You can now actually create build profiles with the Build Profile API. So you can use the build profile and choose profile, set that equal to the build profile dot create the build profile. You do need the GUID, you can set the name, and we do have a debug for creating it, and this will enable you to create the profile with scripting, and then it'll build for the specific platform and automatically installs required packages too. Just to note that the built-in render pipeline is deprecated right now, so it'll be obsolete in future releases, but it will remain supported with bug fixes and maintenance through Unity 6.7, so if that's important to you, it will still be around. Dynamic batching is now deprecated and will be removed in future releases, so you can check out this documentation page, which is all about choosing a method for draw calls, whether you want to use GPU resident draw, other GPU-based instancing, batching, and other things included. You will now find new on-tile post-processing in URP, which allows you to leverage tile-based GPUs to make post-processing effects rendered more easily and more performant. which can help you improve the performance of things like color grading, vignette, tone mapping, dithering, film grain. And this is a brand new render feature which you can select any specific of your universal render pipeline renderers. And if you add a new render feature, you'll be able to see on tile post-processing. It will need to be enabled. If you go up slightly to rendering, you can take the tile only mode. You can have that enabled. And you can now use Unity AI with the profiler. So in this case here, you can see that there's a number of sprites in this project. And if I go on by usage, all these ones in here with the lowest percentage of a few percent could be turned into sprite atlases just to improve on performance slightly, especially if you get more and more and more. Now, I asked the AI assistant to look at my profiler data and how I can improve on sprite performance. It does say that there's a current sprite and draw called bottleneck with the amount of sprite renderers we have, and there is no sprite atlases that exist in this particular project. So the recommended approach is to pack sprites into Sprite Atlas version 2, so you can do that and they can be more dynamically used, and then you can either determine the delivery mechanism or use binding via addressables when you need them on demand. And you could even ask the AI, how do you implement that if you want to take that further? The Unity mathematics is now built in, so you can check what you would classically use at unityengine.math, the float 2, 3, 4, ints, quaternions, the float 4x4 rather than matrix, and you can do things like that to make it more robust and cohesive. There is new Lifecycle callbacks for C# attributes that you can help with reload sequences, especially as we get closer to core CLR with different attributes, as you can see here. And there's automatic static state cleanup callbacks too, where this helps you reset static variables automatically when exit and entering play mode when domain reload is disabled, because you need to be aware of this going forward. So you need to use the scripting.lifecycle management, and then you can do the auto statics cleanup when you're using a static member. One that people were quite interested in, that Unity have removed obsolete game object and specific APIs, where you can see the removed APIs that used to exist. Now, for the most part, you just used get component for the specific component that you want to access, and these are just things that they've been looking to tidy up in 6.5 and onwards to make sure that so many things that are not required become obsolete. You'll find new graph toolkit modules and new samples where you've got the visual director sample and the dungeon graph generator sample. You can get hold of samples by going to the plus in the top left corner of package manager, going install by technical name, and if you type in com.unity.graphtoolkit-samples and then press install, you will get these and you can go over to the samples tab and download them. So you will be able to check out the Graph Toolkit Visual Novel sample, which give you some indication of how this can be used and worked. And you can open up the My Visual Graph to see this. And in this version, there's new node customization for changing the icon, the default color, the title, subtitles, and different ports and nodes. And you will also find the Dungeon Graph Generator, which you can select the crypt generation sheet inside the scriptable object. And you could set the generator, and when you click generate, it will build out your dungeon generation right here. There is a whole host of platform-specific updates, whether it's on Android or iOS, and you can check the What's New documentation for everything that's coming up in there, because there's loads of little intricate things that you can check out that might be interesting for you. So I hope you found this video useful, and do comment down below if you think I've missed anything. So do throw a like and make sure you're subscribed. And do be sure to check out all the links in the description for all the Unity sales, the bundles, and I did make a bundle really recently that showed you everything that you might have missed in June. So big thank you to all my patrons, massive thank you to Joe, and thank you to everybody else who comes to watch the video.